Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to unpack this really interesting conversation with Lillian Pierson. She's a fractional CMO and author of The Data and AI Imperative. But her path to becoming a leader in AI-driven growth, yeah, it's not your typical story. She actually started out as an environmental engineer.
Yeah, it's quite a journey. Back in the early 2010s, when data science was still pretty new, Lillian was already making a name for herself. And her background as a professional engineer, a PE, that really set her apart.
That's interesting because back then, a lot of people thought you needed a PhD to even get into data science, right?
Exactly. It was a very exclusive field. But Lillian's engineering background, it gave her a different way of looking at data. She approached it with a problem-solving mindset, a focus on building systems that were both efficient and effective.
So instead of being intimidated by that whole gatekeeping thing, she used her different perspective as an advantage.
Absolutely. Her engineering background actually brought a different type of credibility. I mean, think about it. Engineers, they're trained to analyze these complex systems, identify patterns, and develop solutions based on data. Those are all skills that are incredibly valuable in data science and marketing.
I see what you're saying. It's like how engineers use physics and math to design bridges that can handle huge amounts of stress. Lillian uses data to build marketing strategies that are just as strong, right?
Perfect analogy. And it really highlights how fields that seem completely unrelated can actually have a lot to offer each other.
So how does this engineering mindset show up in Lillian's approach to marketing? I mean, she's not building bridges, she's building brands.
Well, one example is her focus on data-driven decision-making. She's seen firsthand how marketing has shifted from the Mad Men days of relying on gut instinct and intuition to this world where data is king. As a fractional CMO, she uses data to inform every single part of her marketing strategy, from figuring out who the target audience is to measuring how well campaigns are doing.
So instead of going with a hunch, she's using data to build a solid foundation for her marketing.
Exactly. And this data-driven approach is really important in today's world of product-led growth, too.
Okay, I've heard that term product-led growth a lot lately. Can you break down what that means and how it connects to Lillian's work?
Sure. So product-led growth is a strategy where the product itself is the main driver of getting new customers and growing. It's all about building a product so good, so easy to use, and so valuable that it basically sells itself. And data plays a huge role in this. Companies that embrace product-led growth, they're constantly analyzing user data to see how people interact with the product, what features they love, where they get stuck. Then they use those insights to improve the user experience, which ultimately leads to more growth.
That makes sense. But it sounds like there needs to be a lot of collaboration between marketing and the tech teams. I mean, they have to share data and insights pretty seamlessly.
You hit the nail on the head there. One of Lillian's key insights is that the line between marketing and technology is blurring. They have to work together, using data to inform their decisions and strategies. It's not about working in silos anymore.
So she's not just advocating for data-driven marketing, but for a data-driven culture across the whole company.
Precisely. And that's something that any company, big or small, no matter the industry, can learn from.
Now, Lillian has worked with a lot of startups that are really into this idea of agentic AI. It seems like everyone's talking about it these days, but I'm not sure everyone really understands what it means.
Yeah, that's true. Agentic AI is a term that's still kind of evolving, and there's a little bit of a disconnect between how it's being used in the tech world and how the general public understands it.
So is it just a fancy buzzword, or is there something more to it?
Well, it's definitely more than just a buzzword. At its core, agentic AI is about giving AI systems the ability to act independently,
Yeah.
to make decisions on their own without constant human input.
So it's not just automation, it's about AI taking initiative.
That's one way to look at it, yeah. But, there are different levels of agency. Some AI systems might only have limited agency, letting them make simple decisions within a set of rules. Others might have more advanced agency, giving them the ability to learn and adapt over time, making more and more complex decisions.
So how does this idea of agentic AI fit into the world of marketing? What are some practical applications we might see?
Well, imagine an AI system that can analyze market trends, identify potential customer segments, and then automatically launch targeted ad campaigns. Or an AI that can personalize website content in real time based on how a user is behaving, creating a more engaging and effective customer experience. Those are just a couple examples of how agentic AI could completely change how we do marketing.
That's pretty mind-blowing, but it also brings up some big questions, doesn't it? Like, how do we make sure that these AI systems are making ethical decisions, and how do we maintain human oversight in a world where AI is becoming more and more autonomous? We'll need to explore those questions more as we continue this deep dive.
It's interesting, right, how people are interpreting agentic AI. Some see it as, just a new name for automation, while others think it's this huge leap towards truly intelligent machines.
It does feel like we're still figuring out that line between, like, really advanced automation and real AI agency.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating. Remember when you created Dingo, that tool that automates blog post generation from YouTube videos?
Yeah, I remember.
It's a great example of how we're already using AI for these complex tasks.
Yeah, Dingo definitely pushes the boundaries of what we think AI can do. But could it be considered agentic? I mean, it's taking action based on the information it gets, but is it really making decisions? It's a question I think about a lot.
And it's a question everyone in the field is asking. There isn't an easy answer. Maybe it's not just about whether an AI can take action, but about understanding, the levels of understanding, the intent behind those actions.
So it's not just what it does, but what it understands and why it does it. That adds a whole other layer to the discussion.
Absolutely. And this brings us to another important aspect of Lillian's work. Her focus on using AI tools responsibly, effectively. She's not just interested in the tech itself, but in how it can empower people and, actually solve real-world problems.
She mentioned some specific tools she uses, like Cast Magic, which is for content repurposing. I've actually been trying it out myself, and it's pretty impressive.
It is a powerful tool. You can take one piece of content, like a podcast episode or a blog post, and turn it into all these different formats automatically. Social media posts, newsletters, even short videos, all with a few clicks. It's a game changer for content creators.
I can see how that would be so helpful, especially for marketers who are trying to do more with less time.
For sure. It gives you back time to focus on the more strategic stuff, like coming up with new ideas and connecting with your audience.
Another tool Lillian mentioned is Clay, which is a market analysis tool. I haven't used that one yet, but it sounds amazing.
Clay is like having a whole team of research assistants working for you. It uses AI to analyze tons of data from, news articles, social media, market reports. It gives you insights about your target audience, your competitors, the whole market landscape.
So instead of spending hours digging through reports, you can just ask Clay a question and get an instant answer.
That's the idea. It's about making market research faster, easier, and more accessible for everyone.
It sounds like these tools could really level the playing field for smaller companies and individuals who don't have the resources to hire, a big market research team.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things Lillian is most passionate about, using AI to democratize access to information and opportunities.
It's inspiring to see how she's using her expertise to help others succeed. But with all this talk about these amazing AI tools, it's important to remember that they're not magic solutions. Lillian really stresses understanding the limitations of AI and using it responsibly.
She's right. AI tools are incredibly helpful, but they're still just tools, right? They can automate things, give you insights, but they can't replace human judgment, critical thinking. We need to be aware of their limitations and use them in a way that complements our skills, makes our decisions better, not dictate them.
It's like having a really smart intern. They can do a lot of the work, but you still need to supervise them, check their work, make sure they're on the right track.
Exactly. We need to be the ones steering the ship using AI as our navigation tool, not letting it take over the wheel.
Lillian also talked about an interesting approach she uses with ChatGPT. To refine her thinking, she creates multiple ChatGPT channels, almost like having a team of AI advisors with different perspectives.
That's such a smart strategy. By using different ChatGPT channels, she's basically making herself consider different viewpoints and challenge her own assumptions.
It's like a built-in brainstorming session with a group of experts. It can help you break out of your own echo chamber and come up with more creative ideas.
And it really highlights the importance of not just using AI passively, but actively engaging with it. Using it to push your own thinking further.
So it's not just about what AI can do for us, but what we can do with AI to make ourselves better.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway for anyone who wants to use AI in their work or even their personal life.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment, to push the boundaries. Use AI as a tool for creativity and innovation.
This conversation has been so eye-opening. If professionals like Lillian are using these tools to get amazing results, what's stopping the rest of us from doing the same?
That's the question, isn't it? What part of your work, your life, could you improve with AI? Think about the things that take up your time, the challenges you face. Could AI help you do those things faster, uncover hidden patterns, or even think about things in a whole new way?
It's pretty amazing, right? Thinking about how AI is already being used. But what's really exciting is like what it could do in the future. Lillian talked about AI becoming more like integrated into our lives, not just as a tool, but as a partner, for problem solving and making decisions.
Yeah, she's definitely leading the way there. It's not just about using AI to automate things anymore. It's about using it to like boost our own abilities and help us make better decisions.
It's like having this brainstorming partner with superpowers, one that can like analyze mountains of data and show us things we would have never even thought of.
Exactly. And that's where the real power of AI is. It's not about replacing us. It's about making us better.
I love that. AI, like amplifying human potential, it feels like we're moving into this new era of collaboration where humans and machines work together to solve some of the world's like biggest problems.
It's a powerful idea for sure. And it's something Lillian she's actively working towards. She really believes AI has the potential to make a positive impact, but only if we, use it responsibly and ethically.
And that brings us back to that idea of being ethically aware, right? We need to be really careful about the consequences of AI, the good and the bad.
You can't just like assume that AI will automatically be good. We have to be really intentional about how it develops and make sure it lines up with our values.
So what can we actually do as individuals to make sure AI is used ethically?
Well, first, we have to stay informed. We need to understand how AI works, like what are its limitations? How could it impact society?
And be critical thinkers, too. We need to question the assumptions behind these AI systems and, challenge any bias we see.
Yeah, and we have to push for responsible development, demand transparency from companies, policymakers, push for regulations that protect our privacy, our rights.
It's not just on one person, it's a team effort.
Absolutely. We all have a part to play in shaping the future of AI.
That's really the message Lillian leaves us with, a call to action. To be excited about the possibilities of AI, but to also use it with a sense of responsibility and, purpose.
And a purpose.
This deep dive has been honestly really eye-opening for me. It's made me think a lot about how I can use AI in my own life and work.
Yeah, and it's shown how important it is to stay involved in this conversation as AI keeps changing and shaping our world.
I'm walking away from this feeling inspired, but also a little humbled, by just how powerful AI is and all the potential it has.
And with a renewed sense of responsibility to make sure we use that power for good.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI, marketing, and Lillian's amazing insights. We hope you found it as thought-provoking as we did.
Until next time, stay curious. Keep exploring. The future of AI, it's in our hands.